Good morning. So, I'm going to do a quick video here. This is being recorded on a GoPro Hero 7, 8, 7, Black 7 even. So I'm just going to do a couple of quick updates for different things. So first things first, tell you the truth, I can't even remember. I know I did a video, I don't remember whether it was posted. This is my Blackview. I think this is called a B112. It is called a B112. So this is a Blackview battery that my plan was it was going to sit in the boot of the car. It takes a DC input from a 12 volt socket in the car. Hold on. Should have brought these over when I was starting. So you have, let me see, so this one here is the one that plugs into the cigarette lighter in the car, or the 12 volt adapter in the car. My car, a BMW G31, so it's the 5 Series Touring, has 4 of these. One in the boot, or the trunk as the Americans call it, one between the seats in the back, one in the armrest, and one up front in the center console. So this then plugs in here, and then with this then you get 12 volt power into here. And then the second part of it is this little doohickey, which plugs in here, and anything that's plugged into this gets 12 volt power. And then the nice part about it is there are 2 USB ports on here as well. The plan might be that this is gonna run my Blackview camera in the car, and while the car is powered off, so within 5 to 10 minutes of the car turning off, the standard 12 volt sockets turn off in the car. So then the dash cam is going to be charged through this, and I will have 2 other devices, one which I'm going to talk about now, and well, actually I'm going to talk about both of them. One is going to be a Netgear Wi-Fi adapter, or Netgear 4G LTE wireless router, and the other one is going to be Raspberry Pi with a GPS dongle. This is a future video, I will explain that at some stage, but anyway, let's get to this. So the problem I'm having, and the reason why this is currently out of the car, is because it seems while the car has start stop, so when you pull up to a traffic lights it turns off. Problem is, it seems something is, I'm trying to route it out to figure it out, but it doesn't work all the time. If the car is running for about an hour, it runs perfectly. So I've had to remove, I had a little onboard diagnostics tracker that used to sit in the car. I've had to remove that, hence the Raspberry Pi. I've removed that hasn't made much of a difference. I've removed this today. The camera is plugged directly into a 12 volt socket in the car, so as soon as the car turns off, within 5 to 10 minutes the camera is going to turn off. The Wi-Fi dongle is plugged into a USB, or the Wi-Fi router, LTE router even, is plugged into a standard USB port in the car, so again after 5 minutes it will shut down. I'm going to run that for a couple of days and see if that makes a difference. If not, it's back to BMW to try and get them to figure it out, because they think it's something here. I need to try and figure that out before next week. It's back down next week. So that's number 1. Number 2 So when I bought my phone last year, I did a quick review of this. This is an OtterBox something or other, and the video is up on YouTube somewhere for this. Again, so a couple of things. So first of all, I have noticed that now I have had this nearly a year. Let me see. iPhone 12 Pro Max came out last October. I ordered mine, it didn't arrive until December, so this is about 9 months old. I've noticed that some of the, I don't know if you can see it properly on the camera, but here, where the rubber around the side of it, it's starting to break apart. It's starting to fall off, which was annoying me. So I needed a replacement one of these. Now, again, as part of, I don't know if I'm doing something silly and buying a new car, one of the things I noticed was in the armrest of the car, or well, not in the armrest, in the center console of the car, there is up at the front, under the head unit, there is a wireless charging dock under there. And the problem is that if the iPhone, the 12 Pro Max, is in a case, it doesn't fit properly. And if you can see here, there is a bit of a gap. It's only a couple of millimeters, but that case, or the new case I've got, which I will put a link to in the description. It's something from Amazon. I don't even know what the name of this thing is. That case is just small enough that if I put that into my into the adapter, it actually charges. I know it was a stupid thing to do, to go off, and I could have charged my phone through a cable, but it's a nice to have. I mean, somebody did spec out my car when they bought it new to have a wireless charging adapter feature built into it, so I thought I would try and use it. Now, final thing, and going from wireless charging to very not wireless charging. This popped up on Amazon, and I thought, I have to buy this. Now, even though I'm having currently power issues with my car, it still didn't stop me to go off and buy this. This is a link on Car Charger. It's 112.5 watts of output. Now, I can't figure out where the 112 comes from, because it says it has, so there's a USB-C port, which is up to 90 watts of power. Hold on. Excuse me. So there's a USB-C port, which is up to 90 watts of power. And there's a USB-A port, which is 18 watts of power. Now, my calculations are right. 90 and 18 is 108 watts. So where the 112.5 comes from, I'm not sure. Now, there is a mention of 22.5 watts down here, but it's USB-A and C SCP. So unless this USB-A and C SCP, so 5 volts or 4.5 amps, is 22.5. So the 90 plus the 22.5. So right, so that's it. So you've got power delivery 3. So 5 volts 3 amps, 9 volts 3 amps, 12 volts 3 amps, 15 volts 3 amps, 20 volts at 4.5 amps. So 90 watts maximum. USB-C PPS, so 3.3 to 11 volts at 4.05 amps or 45 watts max, and 3.3 volts to 21 volts at 3 amps or 63 watt max. And finally, you've got a USB-A port, which will do quick charge 3, so 3.6 to 6 volts at 3 amps, 6.2 to 9 volts at 2 amps, or 9.2 to 12 volts at 1.5 amps, or 18 watt max. And then finally, yeah, so that makes sense. So the USB A and C will both do SCP, which I don't know what SCP is, but that's 5 volts at 4.5 amps at 22.5 watts. So if you have something doing power delivery 3 in the USB-C port, you can then have something running SCP at 22.5 watt max on the USB-A port. So between the two of them, that's where you get your 115 volts, or 112.5 watts. So this thing, what I'm interested in this for is if I'm out somewhere and I have a laptop with me and I need to charge it, that is all it is. So it's a little small, it's not heavy, it feels relatively decent, feels good. That it won't run an XPS 15 in full mode. Like an XPS 15 is 130 watt power supply. So while the device is on, this won't run it. Well, it won't run it and charge it at the same time. It'll run most of it. XPS 13, if I remember correctly, the XPS 13s are either 45 or 65 watts. So this will run an XPS 13 in full mode. And I think most of the Apple devices will run here, or like the Apple iPads or iPhone, or not iPhones. It'll charge off. Obviously, it'll charge an iPhone, but the Apple laptops and the like will run off one of these very easily. I'm very interested in this thing, so this could be an interesting bit of kit. Now, mind you, that being said, unless I can get my power issues with the Blackview camera or the Blackview battery working properly, or my car in general working properly, I might have an issue. But still, that's a task for another day. Okay, so thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that malarkey if you want. If you don't. Yeah. So, again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll talk to you next time. Good luck. Bye.